Ironwood Games. This is Andrew.
And this is Marcus.
And we have returned to Riven. Are you excited,
Yeah.
Marcus?
I was thinking, as you were booting up the game, I found it interesting that the game was called Riven, the sequel to Myst, versus Myst 2 Riven, or like another type of like kind of, or just Riven.
Right.
It sounds like back in the late 90s, like they needed some sort of affiliation, but also wanted to stand out. So it was just a very odd title that I feel like you don't see in a lot of other games.
I agree. I feel like, did we talk about this previously?
If we have, I can't remember.
I thought maybe we did, because I agree and I like the uniqueness of it, and maybe we've talked about it off session, but it bothered me then because then the next game is called Myst 3, and then Myst 4 and Myst 5. Because yeah, I liked that it was like it anchored itself to Myst, but then was its own thing. So anyways, but let me explain. I forgot we needed to go up to the very tippy top here, so that's where I've taken us. And we're gonna figure out a little bit more about the mythology of Riven Island up here. So there's this weird looking building here with this throne type chair that overlooks the village of the native Rivenese. So that's what we see, their
Island
little
just out of
dome.
herpes.
No, this is their little dome housing thing. And then we can look down. So Gen, who you know is the big bad guy who fancies himself kind of a godlike figure, if you haven't figured that out from all of the temple worship and things, he can come up here and kind of lord over them. And what we'll see,
Be godlike from an angle.
Yeah, this structure here is actually a gallows of sorts. We'll see some more on this, but this is where he feeds the bad guys, or the Rivenese that he captures, to the warks.
The warks?
The warks, which were, remember those like tusky whales?
Oh, like carnivores?
Yeah, somehow they come in and eat them. But what we need to do, you see, is close that base so that we can actually get in there later. So this is going to come in a little bit. And this is one of those Jungle Island, which we're on. We're going to spend the entire time on Jungle Island today. Has a lot of things, and you end up going around, back and around a bunch of times if you don't know where you're going. So that's what we see up here. We're going to go back down.
As I think about it, I guess whales are traditionally carnivores. They eat krill, which are meat, but are just smaller than average human figures. So I guess it's not too shocking. Fun fact of the day, whales eat meat.
Fun fact of the day, whales eat meat. I love it. Can we get that as a shirt? Can you work on that, Marcus?
Hashtag hashtag Ironwood Facts. Hashtag whales eat meat. Screw you, vegans. Whales eat meat.
It's a bizarre enough statement that I would love to wear that around on a shirt. Like, fun fact of the day, whales eat meat. You're in charge of our merchandise line now, Marcus.
Love it.
I have declared it, and so so it is. All right, so we're going to explore, like I said, we're going to keep exploring a bunch of Jungle Island. Did we look at this thing and see that this is also a wark?
Cool.
That the mouth becomes a staircase up to the tippy top. All right. So we've only been in a little bit. Ooh. Uh-oh.
That kind of scared the crap out of me, not gonna lie.
That's good. We have these random encounters with the native people, and it's kind of interesting. So here we've got this fork in the road. If we go to the left, that's going to take us back to the tree area where we had the minecart over to Crater Island. We've been there before. If we go to the right, it's going to take us up to the area that also circles back and goes off. Actually, I do want to go the other way, though. So both of these paths are going to circle us back to where we want to be. But I lied. This path is the path that has another secret on it. So there's the secret dagger symbol of the freedom fighters or whoever down here. And if we look over at it, we'll see secret stairs leading down this way. And at the bottom here is another eyeball. So once again, we note the symbol and the sound, and this is kind of like a... I think it sounds like a seal barking kind of sound. So we need to find the animal that's affiliated with this sound. This is also one of the only eyeball symbol that doesn't really have the animal silhouette associated with it. So we can only go off of the sound. Every other one has the outline of the animal with it. This one is the only one that has that sound. So we need to find an animal that makes that sound, which is, lucky for us, coming up very soon. So this is that area I was talking about where we've been. Oops, that's the same area. We need to go back towards the beginning. Sorry, I clicked the wrong way. Here we go. So this is where we came in from the tram with the frog silhouette, if you remember.
Damn frog silhouette.
So right now our goal, or what we're going to be doing, is finding all of the animal sounds and silhouettes. And... oh, I messed this part up. I think. I scared them off. We need to get... I forget, if you go too fast, they run away. We want to get close to these guys so we can hear the sounds they make. But as I was saying, there are in total 5 animal sounds.
And we know 2 of them, you know?
We know 2 of the sounds right now, yes. From the eyeballs. How far do I have to go to get them to come back? I don't remember.
See that? So I like this mechanic is like interesting, but at the same time, nothing so far in the game has required us to move slow. So unless if
Right.
this is like a tutorial for this to be used later, if this was just like a one-off puzzle, this would be really frustrating.
It is very frustrating, and as I say, as I've said, one of the things that's frustrating with Riven is there's just things like that that are... you end up kind of looking it up or having to brute force your way through because it's not obvious that if you go slowly, they'll make their sounds for you. I think we have to wait for them to come back, so I'm going forward this way into the village. We're going to see up at the top here, there's this interesting looking little device that we need to get. And so this is, again, our back and forth part. It's going to actually get us into the water and take us around the lake. But here we can see we have another eyeball.
Some sort of insect.
It sounds like an insect sound. That's very good. We see the symbol as well, so write that down.
Actually, on Riven, it sounds like an insect, but it's really a buffalo.
I mean, it could be. And then we'll see if we turn this little spigot here, we'll actually see the silhouette. It fills up with water. And we see it is the beetle shape. So,
I guess
it's kind of a beetle from the side, if you will.
I guess if that's the one sound that the animals that doesn't have an animal silhouette, but you see the animals, I guess that's one way you can kind of brute. I would imagine you could brute force supposedly later, like, well, I saw these animals in passing, I didn't hear the sound.
Right.
But every other silhouette is confirmed, so I guess
It
maybe the
must
puzzle
be
isn't as
that.
bad as I... Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's why I say you can kind of brute force. We'll see. That will probably be the end of our episode. You'll see that there's like 10 options, but only 5 animals. So it's one of those you have to kind of think about. Okay, so we need to get down here, but unfortunately there is nothing to get into, and that's why we need to go up above and lower that little submarine. So we might speed time here all the way back to the other side of the island. So
Cue future Andrew for post-editing.
okay, and so we're here on the other side of the island, where there's another little area in the lake. There's this little thing in the center of the lake that's kind of interesting. We can see the gallows as they were over here. But we're going to keep going up into the village area. And see, most of the platforms to the houses have been retracted, so we can't really explore the village. There's this door that we can knock on. But it seems like nobody's home. However, Easter egg, what's the most important number on Riven?
5.
So if we knock 3, 4, 5 times, we get to see somebody. They are home, but they didn't want to talk to us.
The hell was that?
It's an Easter egg. If you knock 5 times, they'll come out to see you. So we see here again a wark kind of shrine. We've said the warks are this mystical or like magical spiritual creature for them. Probably because of the fact that they're this crazy secret god figure like feeds them to the warks when they're bad. Because what's not obvious is that Gen acts like a god figure, and in such he doesn't interact with them like directly. He's only like interacts with them from afar. Like he really leans into that like mysterious god figure. So
It seems interesting that they have their houses have like bridges that retract, so like just falling into the water below. Yet, for some reason, the people can be captured and thrown into the water. I don't know. Seems interesting.
it is interesting, and I think it's one of those things that you just don't question. But yeah, I agree. It's interesting. There's nothing else up here to do. We just needed to lower that submarine so we can now move around the lake to some different areas. Most importantly, we want to end up over here at the gallows. But we need to go to school before that. There's a school over here. So we do need to go to school because we need to learn our numbers. So speed time back. Okay. And now we're going to go very slow so we don't scare.
That was bumpy. Fast forward.
The sunners down here.
Oh yeah, Andrew, slow down.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, it's that barking sound again.
It's like a Lapras from Pokemon, but with really scary teeth.
It kind of does. So yeah, so this is the sunner. It makes the barking sound, which is that symbol we saw down. on that secret path. You'd think that's all there is to do down here, but you'd be wrong. Because
Is
if we
that
keep...
blood
Blood?
on the rock?
I think it's poop,
Oh.
but it could be blood. Do you want it to be blood?
If it'll help us solve the puzzle, then yes.
It doesn't. But we do need... So now we have... Let's see, we have the frog, we have the sunner, we have the beetle. We still need 2 more animals. So if we come around to this rock figure, which I don't know if you can tell, this silhouette is supposed to be a wark with the tusks.
Okay.
And then there's the eyeball right there. And again, if you remember from when we were underwater in last episode, we heard the warks wail as well, which you can hear here. And again, we write down the symbol on the eyeball here. And that's 4 of our 5 animals. Do you know where the 5th animal is?
Is at the beginning?
No, it's not at the beginning. It's back 2 episodes ago we saw it. And this one, again, can be challenging. It's actually here in the lake. And I don't remember how to find the silhouette. It's from this eyeball thing in the center. So remember this eyeball in the center
Okay.
thing? That's actually like a camera that looks at the lake back in, I guess, last episode, in that underwater viewer chamber where we saw Catherine's prison. You can look at the lake, and at some point in the view, I forgot to... It like moves around, and at one of the views you can see the silhouette of a fish. It's a fish is the symbol. I'm sorry, I forgot to show it to us, and I don't want to go back all that way. Maybe I'll add in post a screenshot of it or something.
Yeah, there you go. Power of editing.
The problem is, so this is the part we have to put it together. 2 episodes ago, when we were in Gin's workshop on Crater Island, there was an eyeball on the table. Do you remember that he had extracted from the lake?
Okay.
I'll bring that up. I'll bring a shot of that up in post as well. But there was a note with it that said he had pulled it off of the lake, and he didn't know what it was for, and then a couple days later, there was a new one. So you're supposed to put that together with the image and figure out, okay, that's the last symbol of the fish eye from the fish symbol. So that's our 5 animals, are the frog, the sunner, the beetle, the wark, and the fish. And they each have 5 different symbols, which need to go figure out what those symbols mean. So that's why we need to go learn our numbers. So now that we have this little submarine, we'll tell you we can explore the lake. The lake's not too bad. If you're doing this game, you just kind of make a little map. There's only a couple of paths. This knob down here determines whether you take the left fork or the right fork. This knob up here, like in those other ships, turns it around, and this one just goes forward. So we're going to go forward. This one is fun just because it's a cinematic for each one, so it takes a minute. I might speed them up a little bit in post.
Yeah, hyperdrive.
And then we're here in an air bubble spot, so we can open the top and look out. And we see, aha, we're here at the gallows. This is where we want to get to, but we can't get to that ladder.
Oh no!
So we need to do something to activate the ladder. Lucky for us, I know where that is. Go forward. Alright, so here's our first fork. If we take the left path, this is over to the school. We're going to come back there. We need to extend the ladder there too. If we take the right path, that just takes us on a loop back where we started. The controls that we want are actually behind us. Turn around. We just came from this left path. That's the gallows up there, so we want to go on the right path here. So we make sure our selector is to the right. Go forward.
Wheels on the bus go round and round.
Be careful, we don't want to get copyright flagged.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You never know which songs are gonna get flagged, Marcus. Unless you sing really off key. The wheels on the bus go round and round.
No, that's Bjork.
Oh. Oh no. Bjork for kids. Alright, here we go. This stop has a ladder that we can get to. So again, you can see the lake from here. Let's go up into this secret little chamber, and you see there's some switches over here.
Yes.
And then there's a view out here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 platforms is the one we're on, and there were 5 switches out there. If you notice, only 2 of the platforms are extended, and 3 of the platforms are retracted. So this is an easy puzzle, because just flip them all up to turn them all on. This will extend all of the ladders, so now you can see the ladders extended, extended. This was one already extended. This one's extended. That's the other side of the island where we've been already. So now we need to go. This is the gallows we want to get to. This doesn't do anything for us. That's where we started. We need to go over here to the school and learn our numbers. How good are you at numbers, Marcus?
Well, I know 5.
That's as much as you need to know. So, very good.
Yay!
I mean, at least initially. It does get a little bit more complicated, but initially you just need to know 5. Or 1 through 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that too much for you?
I mean, you are a math teacher. I'm sure you could teach me.
I will be happy to, because this is one of the puzzles I like, because it's like not obvious, but it's like completely mathematical. Alright, so we need to go to the left. Also, I should point out, like, as with many things, it doesn't make sense, because if all the villagers are, like, trying to go to school, and the only way to get to the school is on the submarine, that's, like, either a lot of kids on a submarine, or it's gonna be really hard to get to your school. Because this school's, like...
Almost a little school.
Yeah, but it's, like, it just, like, logistically, it doesn't make sense, right?
I mean, also surrounded by, apparently... man-eating
Right.
whales. I mean,
right. It's all a little bit questionable. So one thing you'll notice along the walls, they have all these little placards on the top. I don't know if you've been to an elementary classroom anytime recently, but what do they usually have along the top of the wall? You see this in classrooms a lot, is the alphabet, right?
With the hating corpses of misbehaved children.
No, although that is part of the flavor of this school. This is technically the Dunny alphabet up here.
Okay.
Lucky for us, in this game, we
But
don't
we're in
have to
Riven.
learn the alphabet. In Mist 4, I believe you have to know the alphabet. But if you wanted, you could try and translate this, and I'm sure it says something interesting like "you are all bad children" and "worship Gin" or something. I'm not going to do the translation though. This blackboard
Fucked
is.
your mom last night, noob. LOL.
And then we have this interesting device here, kind of up at the front where the teacher might be. And let's see what happens if we turn the crank.
Terekoi Danni, ki bayem revat, al royem beetig tavom, ga bodona gayem.
So, creepy old man.
Was that Emperor Palpatine?
It is not, but it is Gen. That's the first time we get to see Gen. Again, like I say, he has this like mysterious godlike aura where he doesn't interact with them directly, but then apparently he's the school teacher and like gives them pre-recorded lessons.
He's literally the Wizard of Oz.
Yes. Very much so. The mighty powerful.
Eggs!
So there's nothing to do over here. There's some kind of fruit and some list. What we want is this little game over here. So you'll see there's two little figures hanging here, and there's a wark down on the bottom. Do you want to try and figure this out, or do you just want me to explain it to you?
Is it like Hangman, but with works?
Yes. So let's see. What happens if I pull the little tab?
Oh, that's stressful.
It is, and so you can see it's definitely a two-player game.
Is that the only thing you can interact with?
Yep. So what do we notice?
So the symbol that it lands on lowers one of the bodies or fish or whatever by a certain number of...
You just solved the puzzles, so we can learn our numbers by literally figuring out this symbol means this many, right?
Okay.
So this symbol, that was one lowering, right? This symbol means 1. At the end, they're hard sometimes. So again, this symbol means 1. We're not going to play the whole game. I'm going to put up on the screen here all the numbers. This one is 5. So the challenge, though, and the only thing that's hard about this is that you have to understand number systems. Okay, so this symbol, and this is a good one that we got, this is the 5 symbol with the slash line. This is a 2, so the D is the 2 here. I call it the D. The line in the middle, the I is 1. The K is, that's 1. The K is 3. And then the box, this box here is 4, even though it's the end of the game, so it doesn't Click them all. This is the 4, and then that horizontal line is the 5. So those are our base
Wasn't there
numbers.
a number that went more than 5? There was one that went to 7.
So yes, so like
That
this
was
number
8.
that went 8. So remember the K is 3, and the horizontal
The
line is
long range is
5.
5. Oh.
So it's a base system where it's now 5 plus 3. So that's where
Okay.
it's interesting. So then we can learn this one is 5 plus 4. So that's going to be 9. So again, we've learned kind of our numbers here. We know that each, we know that 1 through 5, and then we know adding the line horizontally makes it add 5. What we'll see, and I'll put these up on the screen and post here, is that the 5, that horizontal line, is actually the 1 turned 90 degrees. Because remember, the 1 is the line, the vertical line.
Okay.
So then, eventually, when we run out, we got 1 through 10, or 1 through 9. 10 is actually the D turned 90 degrees, and going to be on the bottom. And then we can go through 14. And then the K through 19, and then the square through 20, or through 24, and so on. So we'll see, again in post, I'll put up the code from that journal that we had. We'll put up the numbers we know how to German, and that's going to be the code to open those domes. So remember, we needed that 5-digit code for the domes. So we have solved that puzzle.
So do we need the alphabet for any reason?
Not
Or
in
is
this
it just-
game.
It's just atmosphere.
Yeah.
In future games, will it give us a reference to
Yes.
decipher the alphabet, or do we have to go back to Riven in order to be like, oh, the alphabet on that one's cool?
No, it's in this 4. It's very hard for me to read Dunny. So I usually, for that puzzle, I just look it up because I can't. I won't ruin it. It's on the spines of books, so it's also written sideways. On top of the fact that it's, they look very similar because they're like similar letters with accent marks and things, and so I can't ever. I have to look that one up because I try and I can get like 3 out of 5 of them, and then the other ones, like, they make it challenging on purpose. So, but we'll get there eventually. All right. So, are you excited? We know our code. We know our 5-digit code. As you can see on the screen, I'm putting that in post. Marcus doesn't know what it is, but here in post, you guys know the 5-digit code now. We know our 5
Maybe I haven't known
animals.
that the whole time.
And we'll notice, again, we know our 5 animals. We've seen the symbols on the animals, and those symbols are 1 through 5. So we know our animal order. It's going to be fish, beetle, frog, sunner, work. Again, we don't know what we use that for, but we know kind of we've put all those pieces together. So we've learned a lot, and we've solved a number of problems.
Ooh.
We almost have, oops, yeah, here we go. The fire marble puzzle finished from last time. We, we have the code for the domes, and we have our animal orders here. All right, so this is an interesting little prison cell. Apparently this guy's waiting to be executed. waiting for him to notice us or do something. Nope. What happens if we push the button? We opened the cell. We freed him. That was our mission in the game. We're done. Oh, but he's gone. Where did he go?
Was it a ghost?
I mean, he didn't go past us. He must have gone somewhere. Before we figure out where he went, though, I want to go down here and lower this ladder so we can get back up here easier. Then we don't need the submarine anymore. All right. So where did he go, Marcus? Do you want to solve the mystery of where he went, or should we end here? Because we're going to end either here or in the next spot, either way.
Next. Let's not be that and leave off on a cliffhanger.
Okay. So where did he go? Huh. He must have had a secret exit or something, right? This is the only thing we could interact with is this drain here. What? A secret passage? In the prison? Gin won't be happy about that. Huh. So we can walk through. This little thing turns a light bulb on here. And then we can walk back through. Oops, did I mess it up? Maybe. That'll open the door. No, there's a... Am I blind? There's a light bulb. Okay. Like, there's gotta be a way to get all the lights on. There we go. And now we can go down. Oh,
You missed one.
I missed one. I'm bad at this, apparently.
One more. No. One more. No, forward.
Go forward.
No, back. Rotate 180. There you go. Okay, now go forward.
Okay.
Forward.
Go forward. Oh, here
To
it
your
is.
left.
Thank you. Good job. It only takes 2 of us to figure this out.
Right to your right. Good job. To your left. I don't see one there. Maybe on the left.
Oh, look at that. Secret door. It's the dagger symbol of the resistance. And look at this. We have a bunch of animal symbols. If only we had, like, some number of animals and some order to push them in.
Fish.
So, let's see. What was it?
Fish.
Now I gotta find where they're at, though. Where is the fish? No, it's not that fish. It's this fish. Fish.
Got him. Missed.
Beetle. Frog. Sunner. This can also be a little bit challenging just because sometimes the symbols and the animals, you're not sure which is the right depiction of them. But there we go. Sunner, orc, and then... Ooh.
Did Dora do that before?
No. There's some crazy magic Bum bum.
Full dagger.
Oh, a linking book. And I would love to click into the linking book, but then there's a movie that plays, and we don't have time for that. So we have to end on a cliffhanger, even though you told us not to.
Well, I mean, this is a cliffhanger of like the story, not a cliffhanger of a puzzle. So
Okay.
for people who might be using this as a walkthrough, it makes sense. At least I feel.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we'll figure out what's behind this book, behind the secret trapdoor to the prison, from the clues that were left to us by the rebels, behind their secret symbol, the dagger. Where could this book take us? Well, how was that for you, Marcus? Did you enjoy?
I was expecting the puzzle to be like done earlier. Like, I mean, to get to this point, and then I guess you saw animals around, and then I don't know. I have to process this. Maybe next time during the next video, I will summarize my thoughts on this.
Some thoughts.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. Like I said, all the pieces kind of come together at once, and then we can knock all the puzzles out. Like you have to do all the research. And if you don't know what you're doing, you end up coming to that room and then like wandering back around being like, okay, how do I figure out what animals and all that stuff? So, well, thanks guys for everyone for joining us. Marcus, would you like to tell them what to do?
Like, comment, subscribe, do the hokey pokey in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye everybody.